Have a Dream speech. By the end of the Birmingham campaign, King and his supporters were making plans for a massive demonstration on the nation's capital composed of multiple organizations, all asking for peaceful change. On August 28, 1963, the historic March on Washington drew more than 200,000 people in the shadow of the Lincoln Memorial. It was here that King made his famous, "I Have a Dream" speech, emphasizing his belief that someday all men could be brothers. "I have a dream that my 4 children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin but by the content of their character." Martin Luther King Jr. I Have a Dream speech, August 28, 1963. The rising tide of civil rights agitation produced a strong effect on public opinion. Many people in cities not experiencing racial tension began to question the nation's Jim Crow laws and the near century of second-class treatment of African American citizens. On March 7, 1965, a civil rights march, planned from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama's capital, turned violent as police with nightsticks and tear gas met the demonstrators as they tried to cross the Edmund Pettus Bridge. King was not in the march, however. The attack was televised, showing horrifying images of marchers being bloodied and severely injured. 17 demonstrators were hospitalized in a day that would be called Bloody Sunday. The second march was cancelled due to a restraining order to prevent the march from taking place. The third march was planned, and this time King made sure he was part of it. Not wanting to alienate Southern judges by violating the restraining order, a different approach was taken. On March 9, 1965, a procession of 2,500 marchers, both black and white, set out once again to cross the Pettus Bridge and confronted barricades and state troopers. Instead of forcing a confrontation, King led his followers to kneel in prayer and they then turned back. Alabama Governor George Wallace continued to try to prevent another march until President Lyndon B. Johnson pledged his support and ordered U.S. Army troops and the Alabama National Guard to protect the protesters. On March 21, approximately 2,000 people began a march from Selma to Montgomery, the state capital. On March 25, the number of marchers, which had grown to an estimated 25,000, gathered in front of the state capitol where King delivered a televised speech. 5 months after the historic peaceful protest, President Johnson signed the 1965 Voting Rights Act.